If you don't want to support the state, you don't want to support one small group of people bossing everybody else around on the planet, get your friends using cryptocurrencies because it undermines their power and their ability to control people. That's what's so exciting about this, is it strips away power from every single government on the planet to control peaceful people. No matter how many politicians get together and write down words on a piece of paper, or how many policemen with guns on their hips show up, 2 + 2 always equals 4. The underlying mathematics behind cryptocurrencies will always work. And we just need to spread it as fast as we possibly can to as many people around the world as fast as we can.
To my channel, we are here in Acapulco, Mexico at Acapulco, and I'm here with a returning guest, with Roger there. Roger, you became kind of a controversial person. You still kick the hornet nest. You call Bitcoin Cash, you call it Bitcoin, or like Bitcoin and BCH in brackets. So, like, do you like to kick the hornet nest, or why do you like to stir up the Bitcoin community?
In my book, I'm promoting the exact same version of Bitcoin that I've been promoting from day one. The speech I started giving in 2011 was that Bitcoin allows you to send and receive any amount of money with anyone, anywhere in the world instantly, basically for free, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. All those characteristics are still true about Bitcoin Cash. They are no longer true about Bitcoin Core, and they're no longer true by intentional design of the Bitcoin Core supporters. They openly say that they want it to be slow, expensive, and unreliable to use. Well, I have news for you. If something is slow, expensive, and unreliable, you're going to seek out an alternative, and that's exactly what we've seen happen in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Bitcoin Core became slow, expensive, and unreliable. People started using Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Dash, take your pick. There's 1,001 different cryptocurrencies out there, and people are going to use the ones that are the most useful to them. And Bitcoin has a strong name and branding presence, but at the end of the day, it has to work and has to work well. And Bitcoin Core has been intentionally broken by the Bitcoin Core supporters.
So what do you think about the Lightning Network?
I think and hope the Lightning Network will be here, and I hope it'll work wonderfully well, but at this point, it's not here yet. It's not ready yet, and when and if it is ready, it'll work better, faster, and cheaper on Bitcoin Cash than it will on Bitcoin Core.
So then you will call Bitcoin Core again Bitcoin, the real Bitcoin?
I think there's multiple Bitcoins at this point. There's Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Core, and a whole bunch of other ones out there that are using the Bitcoin name, and it's up to the users to decide which version of Bitcoin is the one that's right for them.
So now there's this hodl meme, it's quite famous, like people just hold onto their coins. So how can there be another like economy with cryptocurrencies when people don't spend their cryptocurrencies, when they just hold on to it?
I think that's why we've seen Bitcoin Core's market share plummet from 90+% to around 35% that it is today. If you're not able to use it as a currency, it won't be useful as a store of value. So you won't want to hold it as a store of value if you can't spend it everywhere. The reason people say you save dollars and use dollars as a store of value is because you can spend them everywhere. The same needs to be true of cryptocurrencies. If you can spend them everywhere, you'll feel comfortable using them as a store of value. If you can't spend them because it's slow, expensive, and unreliable to spend them anywhere, you're going to use something else. And there's a whole bunch of cryptocurrencies out there ready to take up market share on that area.
But of course, the people see the price always rises, and of course they think, okay, why should I spend it now when it's worth like $50,000 soon? So they just hodl to it. So what do you think? What would you recommend to a person? Like, would you recommend them to spend their coins and try to help to develop another ecosystem, or just hodl?
I think each individual can decide for themselves, but the reason people would want to hold something is because they think it'll be more useful to them later. So people know that phones are going to get cheaper and cheaper next year. $1,000 today will buy you a pretty darn nice iPhone. Next year it's going to buy you an even better iPhone, right? So if I just held my $1,000 for a year, I can get a much better iPhone than I can today, yet people still go out and buy iPhones every single day. I think it's the same with cryptocurrencies. Even though it may be worth more next year, you can still go out and do all sorts of things with it today, and people will and can and do.
Okay, great. So Merkel and Macron, they said at the G20 summit in Argentina, they want to crack down on cryptocurrency. What do you expect? What kind of regulations do you expect?
So lots of governments and banks want to regulate cryptocurrencies. At the end of the day, I think it's cryptocurrencies that are going to regulate governments and banks. The only way to stop these are to turn off the entire internet in the entire world and keep it turned off. Suddenly we all around the entire world have an option. We don't have to use these pieces of paper with pictures of dead politicians on them anymore. We have another option. And that other option isn't a store of value that's slow, expensive, and unreliable to use. It's the cryptocurrencies that are fast, cheap, and reliable, and private as well. And so take a look at the different cryptocurrencies out there, see the ones that make have the characteristics that make them most useful as money, and go out there and start using them as money. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody around you. If you don't want to support the state, you don't want to support one small group of people bossing everybody else around on the planet, get your friends using cryptocurrencies, because it undermines their power and their ability to control people. That's what's so exciting about this, is it strips away power from every single government on the planet to control peaceful people. And as a peaceful person myself, of course I'm excited about that.
But you don't see that government's going to shut down exchanges because they see it's going to be a much bigger threat to them? You don't see it?
Sure, lots of people have already gone to jail, right? Ross Ulbricht is in jail for life with no possibility of parole for setting up an e-commerce website that accepted cryptocurrency. He built a website that allowed other people to sell things, and this guy got sent to prison with no possibility of getting out ever. That's how violent and crazy the state are, and that's how upset they are with this new technology. So lots of individuals may go to jail, lots of individuals may have horrible bad things happen to them, but that doesn't stop the technology one bit. It might just delay it a little bit. But at the end of the day, we need to go out there and get as many people using cryptocurrencies as fast as we possibly can, so it's too late and the government doesn't even have time to react and figure out what they can do to stop it. And I was actually just with a Stanford law professor just a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned he was just recently in a meeting with the SEC in the United States, and they were really interested and concerned about ICOs. And I told him, let me guess. And they have absolutely no idea what they're going to do about it. And he said, how did you know? And I said, of course I know. That's the whole point of this technology, is by technological design, it's supposed to be above the law. And what I mean by above the law is that the politicians can get together and write down whatever words they want on a piece of paper, but that doesn't alter the underlying mathematics that make up these systems. So no matter how many politicians get together and write down words on a piece of paper, or how many policemen with guns on their hips show up, 2 + 2 always equals 4. The underlying mathematics behind cryptocurrencies will always work. And we just need to spread it as fast as we possibly can to as many people around the world as fast as we can.
So I always say the great thing about government is that they are always very slow and they don't get the technology, they don't know how to regulate it, and that's a big benefit. Would you agree?
I agree, and that's what's been so frustrating about the scaling debate within Bitcoin, is I feel like we've lost several years of adoption by that, and we could have been even farther ahead of the regulators and the governments noticing what's happening. But that's the world we live in, so all we can do is start from today and do the very best we can moving into the forward, and that's to get as many people using cryptocurrencies as fast as we possibly can.
Okay, let's spread the word. Thank you very much, Roger.
Thank you.